Welcome to Not So PG. I'm Brooke, my pronouns are she and her.
I'm Matty Mills, my pronouns are he and him.
Right at the top of this episode, we'd like to acknowledge the custodians of the land in which we record this podcast.
For me, that's the Gadigal People of the Eora Nation.
And for me, that's the Eora People of the Eora Nation. And I'm actually at home, not in studio, so let's get into it.
Let's do it. How was your weekend?
I mean, I've had a good weekend, a big weekend, and it's been a big week. The challenge is out.
Yes.
I'm enjoying Melbourne actually having some fucking sun. Oh my God, it's like foreign over here.
Oh, is it nice and warm?
Yes, it's like summer is coming, bitch. And you know what?
It is around the corner.
Exactly, and I'm absorbing it as much as I can. But actually, I have a bit of a funny moment, which is actually not so much funny. It's actually like WTF.
Okay.
So my neighbour's a really nice guy.
I'm here for this.
And I'm thinking, wow, it's 2022. Where are we in life? Like, where is society? Anyways, I was talking to him about another good friend of ours, and we were talking about solariums and how then, you know, they're illegal and some people still access them.
Yes.
And I'm like, well, you know what? I don't even need a solarium because I could be out in 5 minutes in the sun and I've already tanned. Blessing in a disguise, but also probably not very good for like skin cancer. But I preach sunscreen.
I mean, it's better than the solarium.
100%, exactly. And like, I was blessed with this skin and I was blessed with my Aboriginality. So of course I'm going to be really proud of that, you know, of my color. Like, but I was just talking about how, you know, I can't wait to be in the sun, can't wait to get black. And that's what I said. I was just like, I can say that. Like, for big First Nations, like,
Of course.
you know, I feel proud that we can actually say that. Because, you know, once upon a time, you were shone for being black. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking use the term whatever.
Totally. What happened? What did he say?
So I was like, yeah, I can't wait to have some sun. You can get like, I was like, yeah, I can't wait to get black. And he goes, oh yeah, like get all and shit.
He used that word? Oh my life. Like, just casually just said that.
Just fucking casually. I'm sitting on my front doorstep. He's at my gate just having a yarn with me. And then he drops that. And I was like, you can't say that. And I was like,
God. How awkward for you to be in that position though and have to like correct him.
100%. And I was like, this is not how I'm fucking starting my day.
No.
Chae, who works with me, she's a good friend of mine, but she also is my personal assistant. She was in the room and she was like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh my gosh.
I couldn't believe it. I said, we're in 2022 and my neighbour is literally dropping the N-bomb on me. What the fuck?
Oh my life. When you said you can't say that, what did he say?
He apologised for sure because I called him out for his shit. And I was like, look, you cannot say that. That's not a word that we use. And I kind of, kind of gave it to him. But I was like, I don't want to wake up. I did not choose violence this morning. I did not choose this. But I was like, great. That's a really fucking awesome tie of the week.
And just so like casually, like,
But look, where are we? Where are we experiencing fucking racism in 2022?
And,
still in it.
So it sort of ties into this, right? This week, we moved house, and so I had a removalist. I had to book removalist to come and pick up furniture and move my furniture. And basically, I booked them for 2 p.m.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They didn't get there until 5 p.m. So 3 hours late.
Yes.
So they get there. I'm calling, they're 40 minutes away. They're half an hour away. They're going to be there in 15 minutes, blah, blah, blah. And I got to the point where it was like 5 o'clock and I was about to cancel them. And I wish that I did. I wish that I canceled them because they didn't deserve, my money, or they didn't deserve my time, because what happened was they arrived, pull up the truck, he gets out, and I'm like, you guys are 3 hours late. It's like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry, traffic, tried to blame it on traffic. And there were two guys, so two young fellas, like maybe early 20s, maybe mid 20s, I'd say. And they come inside the house, and so I take one. I thought they were both following me, but I took the stairs. So I went upstairs and I was like, okay, these are the two things from up here that needs to go down and into the truck. And I realized that the other guy wasn't with me. And so I sort of was like, where did he go? And so I walked back downstairs and he was like weirdly in my kitchen staring at photos of Paulie and I and like looking around my house like this.
What a creeper.
And I was like, hello, like you got to move the furniture. Like, what are you doing?
Did you just turn to him and be like, you're right? Like Mr. Nosy Pants?
So I get downstairs and I notice he's obviously looking around and he sees the photos of Paulie and I, and then he also sees the Love Wins sign and the rainbow flag. And I could tell that he had like a visceral reaction to that. He was like, like it was like he had seen a demon. And like legit, he was like looking for his holy water because he was scared of that rainbow flag. And basically I saw that reaction. I was like, oh, okay, great. I know exactly what I'm dealing with now. So they moved one piece of furniture, which was like these big drawers. They got them downstairs and got them into the truck. And then what he does, he goes to the front of the truck, gets his bag and walks off and like walks out of my driveway, out of my street, and just leaves his colleague.
What is his colleague like at the time? What was his colleague doing? Like, was he just like, okay, see you, bro?
So I didn't know what was happening because I was so confused. He like literally grabbed his backpack, put it on and walked. And then his colleague immediately starts apologizing and then calls his boss. So another truck turns up with two people in the truck and they come and like move the furniture. But I was like, oh my God, it's 2022 and you have these homophobic motherfuckers like literally walking into your home saying that you're gay and then leaving because they don't want to help you move your furniture. It's like, I'm paying you for a service. And because you saw the Love Win sign, you're like deeply threatened. Like, I'm not going to crack onto you, bud. Like, you know, like I'm like, there's nothing's going to happen. You're not going to walk out and you're not going to turn gay. It's like, you're literally just helping me move house. And then, you know, they obviously finished the job and, you know.
But between the N-bomb being dropped, the homophobic workers, on the opposite, it has been okay week. It has been a great week other than those two things, I'm assuming.
Well, you know what? On the flip side of this, I had a really weird and funny interaction. I was at my local shops and this person who I had no idea who they are came up behind me, tapped me on the shoulder and was like, oh, hi, just wait there. And I was like, I didn't know what they were doing. And they pull out their phone and they start FaceTiming someone. And I was like,
oh,
what? And then this girl pops up on FaceTime and I'm talking to her on fucking FaceTime in Coles. I'm like, hi.
How did you feel about that? Can I just ask?
I felt awkward because I didn't know what was happening. And if the guy said, you know, hi, do you mind if I just call my friend who is a fan of yours and you can say hello? I would have been like, yeah, 100%. But he literally tapped me on the shoulder and he's just like, oh, just 1 second. And I start talking to her on FaceTime in the middle of the fucking shops. And I'm like, I literally didn't know what to say. So I was like, oh, hi. And she's like, hi. And I'm like, how are you? And she's like, I'm good. It was awkward as fuck. And then I just scurried away and tried to hide in another aisle.
I had the same thing and I was crossing the fucking road.
Oh, God.
I was crossing the road and I got bombarded by this girl who was really sweet and she said, my sister's a huge fan. Please, can I FaceTime her? So she did actually ask, which I was like super appreciative of. But I was like, I'm just fucking crossing the road. Like, just let me cross the road.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, is this my life? Like, do I just have to succumb to this part of my life where people, like, you know, don't really respect your space, you know, because they have people don't have a lot of access to me in the real world. So when I think I'm like out doing things, they're like, fuck, I got to take this opportunity. Because I'm like, I'm not really, like, I wouldn't say that I'm like really known or big. But the one thing that really frustrates me, and this story kind of sparked this thought. I was in the bathroom about to go for a wee and she goes, do I know you? And I just think the amount of times that I've heard this in the last year, I can't even tell you how many times it's happened. What do you expect me to say to that? I don't know. Did we work together? Oh, I would. Yeah. Because how I respond is literally like a blank face.
Yeah.
Like I go.
You're like waiting. You're like countdown. Like, is she going to get it?
Yeah, literally waiting for them.
Do you get mistaken for anyone else? Do they say, oh, are you from this show or this show? Like, or do they normally like
literally
hit it on the head?
All the time? It just
like
changes.
Love Island.
Yeah, and it's like, look, I know that I'm not that big. Don't have intentions of being this fucking huge superstar. Don't really care. The Bachelorette was a year ago. I get it. Right? But it's like, don't go up to someone and say, do I know you? Because, like, unless you know.
The reality is that they don't know you.
100%.
Like, you should be like, no, you don't.
You know me from somewhere. But, like, it actually, I know it sounds so fucking entitled, but it, like, gets really on my nerves because it's like, you're literally putting me in a very awkward position where I don't want to be like, yeah, I was Australia's Bachelorette or, I was on TV. Like, it makes me so fucking awkward.
Let me pull out my resume. These are all the things I've done.
I literally sometimes just, like, lie and say, sorry, don't know you.
Yeah.
Or not, I'm not lying, actually. I'm being honest.
Totally.
I don't fucking know you.
I've seen you in public though, and when people have interactions with you, you're very generous with your time. You're like, yeah, like photos, you're like, yeah, 100%. You get the snap. Like, you're very generous with your time.
My friends have said this. They're saying, Brooke, like, I've seen you with us, but when you're with fans and when you meet people, you are really lovely and you are really genuine. Probably too generous with your time because I know how uncomfortable it makes you feel. It's not like, guys, I don't feel uncomfortable because of it's not even the fame aspect of it. It's actually just like, I'm actually just a really normal person. Like, when I did all the shows, I was still Brooke. And, I'm about to do the challenge. I was still Brooke.
Let's talk about the challenge. Oh, my gosh. That is super exciting. You're going to be, like, back on our screens and back in the lounge rooms of all Australians. How exciting. Tell me about, okay, let's go to the start of it, right? Like, what made you do this? Why did you want to do another reality TV show?
Well, talking about this, like, obviously I've been really thrown into this crazy world of, like, reality TV and media, and I absolutely love it. Through it, I've got to meet you and I've got to meet awesome people, and I'm really always appreciative of this. But for me, it's always about challenging myself. And, when I first went on The Bachelor, it was about challenging myself. When I did The Bachelorette, it was about falling in love, but I was like, this means so much greater than that, and it was going to be a challenge.
Yes.
So when the challenge actually came to me and we're like, Brooke, we're really interested in having you. We know you're competitive. We know you love sport. We know you love fitness. I was like, I'm really not interested because I heard a few people through the grapevine that were going, and I just didn't want to be a part of, like, what I could see be the bigger picture drama. I don't want to be affiliated or associated with that kind of drama, but I loved the thought of physically challenging myself to the point where I was breaking or being, you know what I mean? Like, kind of like Survivor. And that's what the show's about. It's like Survivor / Big Brother. You're living all together. You live together, you eat together, you breathe together. Then you do the physical challenges together. And that is the point where, you are pushing yourself, but you also might be pushing other people for good reason, for bad reason, whatever. You're building alliances. And so I was like, okay, we've done love reality. I've exhausted that option. Why not give something else a crack? And I truly believe that you need to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so the challenge for me was about that. And I've actually loved watching the challenge in the US. It's actually really epic.
Was it harder than you thought?
So I find that I have a really huge pain threshold. A lot of people actually probably don't know that about me, is that I'm a softie.
The worst.
I could see
like I faint if, like, I see blood, or if, like, I really want to get laser hair removal, and I just know that I'll never be able to do it. I would faint as soon as I get zapped. I would be on the floor crying, being like, somebody help me. Like, I'm not good with pain.
I mean, I've done it all. Like, broken my collarbone. I've had laser removal. I've had skin needling. Like, I've done all these little things that, like, are quite painful, but normally you can kind of get through them. And, like, I've also really pushed my body through footy and through boxing and through CrossFit. I'm only like a little gal.
Yep.
And my size has been not a disadvantage, but it definitely hasn't had its advantages. Has and hasn't. Like, you know, I'm 5'1". She's a little pocket rocket.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like, don't let your size impact, you know, how you do things, or, you know, I always say small in stature, big in heart, because I think, you know, you can be big on impact and you can do far greater things. It doesn't matter how fucking small you are. And so the challenge for me is, it's really exciting. It starts this week, and the first night there was so much drama around beds and people.
Oh God.
We were referred to as the lovers because we were on a love show. And I'm like, that's not my fucking title. That's not what I want to be referred to. Sorry,
right.
but I don't want to be in a Bachelor alumni. I've done that, been there, done that. I'm my own person. That's who I want to be, and that's who I came here to be. You know what I mean? Like, I came here. And so, yeah, that's probably why I'm not amongst the drama and I'm not amongst it, because...
Was it hard to actually, like, live amongst the drama? How did you block it out?
Go nap.
Nap, you go and sleep.
Literally, nap queen. Nap queen.
They'll be all arguing for that camera time and that air time, and you're like, I'm gonna be in the corner napping.
Literally, I self-proclaimed, but self-care queen. Self-care queen. That was
Love
me.
it.
And, you know, the reason why I went into the challenge it was for the money in a way. And I've never done anything motivated by the money, but I was like, the money for me I made a promise to myself that if I win the challenge, my money is actually going to a charity called Children's Ground.
Right.
Which I was really, you know, I have a good relationship with them, and what they do is their health education in communities. And so they help women and babies and young children.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why I wanted to do the challenge this time around, was to, you know, challenge myself, but also like give back to my community in any way. And if that was off the back of me doing something that I was going to learn from and, you know, do and like, you know, feel uncomfortable about in a way that's going to like make me a better person, then that's all I can do for my community, right? And so, yeah, I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I'm glad that, you know, I relatively stayed out of the drama.
Good. But at least you stuck to your guns, and like you know, you were there for the right reasons, and you don't need that airtime, love. Like you had your own TV show. Like these bitches could never.
I just don't have an ego. Like talking about ego for a split second, that really, people with ego really gets to me in so many different ways. Like, so I call it seeds and weeds.
Okay.
So seeds for me, right, is like seeds, putting things into the ground and it grows and it blossoms.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Seeds and weeds are intentions, like what you want to do with life, with passion projects, whatever. And so seeds for me are about growth, and where a place where you come from is seeds come from the place of love, compassion. There is no ego. It's black joy. It's joy in general. It's laughter. Weeds is weeding out like ego, envy, jealousy, like all the yucky, like all the gross things and traits that people can have that don't come from a place of compassion. Like that, it just, you know, and I don't have ego. Yeah, I'm like a bit of a sassy bitch, but that isn't ego. That's because I'm just so like well assured and self assured in myself that I know what I have to offer, and I know that I've always got good intentions. Seeds and weeds, baby. Weed, you better get gardening, because we're going to get rid of that fucking ego. People who have ego and think that their shit doesn't stink, they are the ugliest fucking plants. Like, they are the grossest plants. They're like a fucking cactus that's got that little red bum on the top.
The dick cactus with the red knob. I literally have one of those.
Yeah, well, they're fucking ugly and you need to get rid of it. Yeah. You need to get rid of it. It's disgusting. I fucking hate those cactus. What does a cactus do for you? Does it bring you joy? Do you get to water it? No. Does it just sit there like an ornament? Yeah. What the fuck? What joy does that bring you? Sorry, go get a plant. Like, go get a real plant.
Go get a real plant. Big discriminating against cactuses.
Yeah, cacti.
Cactuses matter. Well, I'll be sure to chuck my cactus out then.
Yeah, get rid of your fucking ugly ass cactus. Ew, they're the ugliest plants ever. Anyways, if you do want to watch the challenge, it's Monday and I'm pretty sure Tuesday nights at 7:30 on 10play or on Channel 10 at 7:30. So go check me out.
Love that. One of Australia's largest retailers has put a collection out that is supposedly all about proudly supporting Aussie designers, but the design looks freakishly close to like blackfella art.
Really?
But the designer who did this, I think her name was Ellie Whittaker?
Yeah.
Ellie Whittaker?
Yeah.
Whittaker?
Yeah.
It does look like it's sort of... It feels like it could be if you were in the shop and you saw it, it could be like an Indigenous artwork on this like printed on these shirts.
Yeah.
And it just feels like it's so close to the line, to the point where it's like you question whether it's Indigenous art or not.
No, okay. So I've just quickly looked at the artwork because I was like, okay, I need to understand what you're telling me. And
yeah, it's like they look like worms.
what I'm seeing is that I'm seeing a lot of color. But if I look at this artwork, it's very, very similar to a few First Nations artists that I follow. So if you were to follow me, and majority of the people that I follow are First Nations people or artists, I have like probably one of the best sort of like
a database.
Yes, for First Nations artists, First Nations businesses. Like I follow, like when I go onto my Instagram, my feed is just full of First Nations excellence. Or shall I say. And so I know a lot of people and their art and the distinct way that they do their art. And looking at this, I can definitely see a number of artists that it's very similar to. And Ellie Whittaker isn't a First Nations woman, but it is too close for comfort. And I think, you know, they could have, what was stopping them from, if they were going to go in this direction and this type of style, what was stopping them from taking a First Nations designer, paying them?
And you know what? I agree. And it also feels like just by the messaging around proudly supporting Aussie designers, that they are almost like luring you in to think that this could be a First Nations design and designer, you know? It's almost like a way of...
we're progressive and we are collaborating. Yeah. We've seen it a lot happen, especially on social media in the communities that we are a part of and we've built, is that we see a lot of... you know, people who are like, oh, I've just come to terms with my Aboriginality and I've found out that I'm 1/16th. And then all of a sudden they're like artists and established businesses. And we're like, I'm sorry, but you really, like, again, we've unpacked this on the episodes before about coming to terms with your Aboriginality and putting in the work before you make a business of it, because that is just ripping off the Aboriginal culture. That is absolutely not what we stand for and how we work. Yep. I get that you're coming in terms with your identity, but then establishing a business is just like you're monetizing and you're profiting off something that you actually haven't even like come and identified with for like the last
and also experienced
decade. And so
100%.
It kind of comes close with that. It kind of comes and breathes the same air, and I feel like it kind of also breathes the same air as cultural appropriation. Like in the Aboriginal First Nations community, we use our environment and our connection to culture as inspiration for our art. We don't just like look at a teapot and just be like, fuck, I'm just going to draw a teapot. You might draw a teapot. Give it to you. Love a teapot. But our inspiration comes from culture, and it comes from the land. It comes from our native plants. And so for me, when I'm looking through the artwork, I'm seeing a lot of gum nut leaves and eucalyptus. And that's, I would say, traditionally or culturally more so, because I don't really like the word traditional, is that's inspiration that's drawn a lot from First Nations culture.
Yeah, totally. Well, if you are an artist and you are inspired by First Nations art and culture, don't put that into your work. Don't do that. There's enough black fellas out there doing incredible art that we don't need white fellas trying to do their dot paintings. Not going to happen.
And we'll call it out when it happens.
And we will. So Elon Musk is now the head of Twitter, and he's going to take my blue tick away. I fought hard for that.
How did you get your blue tick?
You got to know the right people. Twitter, very easy. Was to get my blue tick was very easy. It was like done within a day when I applied. And then Instagram, just for my PR agent.
Ah.
Yeah, okay. She just went through the channels and but it was fucking hard.
Yeah.
You know what's so funny? They wouldn't give it to me while I was just at NITV, but as soon as I went onto a mainstream network, 9, they were like, yeah, he's on 9. That means that he's verified and he's valid because he's on mainstream media. I'm like, ugh.
I know there's so many mixed feelings about like the blue tick in itself and, you know, its advantages, I'd say, or its benefits, however you would like to, you know, use
But you can't hide. If you have a blue tick, you're the first on the stories, you know what I mean? Like, if you're verified, people can see your profile very easily. So, and I don't like that.
Okay, so for what I'm trying to understand, so Elon Musk is announcing plans to charge people basically $8 a month for blue tick access. And so there's that.
Would you pay for it?
I mean,
it's $2 a week.
I've always been really uncomfortable. So a blue tick for me, and I argue that doesn't mean that I'm better than you, doesn't mean that I am worthy of more than you. And that's what the trouble that I had with coming to terms with, particularly the blue tick. Because I was like, I don't really think that and it's not like I'm not deserving of it. It was more like coming from a place of, you know, I've lived in community. I don't think.
And why is there so much power behind this?
100%. And then monetizing it, is it going to take away like the legitimacy around some people? Like the reason why we have blue ticks is because we are in the media and we have, you know, and we've got fan pages. That's fan pages, and so it tries.
I don't think I have a fan page.
Yeah, but the blue tick legitimizes you and says, hey, this is the real person, like the real Matty, because you've been in TV and you've been in media, and people probably fan over you and then create these fan pages. I know, but you probably don't.
Call their friends on FaceTime.
You probably do have a fan page, if I'm being honest, but
I don't know. But I don't know about. I don't think I have a fan page, but I remember thinking that I'd feel great if I had the blue tick, and then I got the blue tick, and I felt nothing.
Yeah.
So it was
100%.
like it didn't validate anything for me. It was like I was like, oh my god, when I get the blue tick, like my social media is going to be great, and I got the blue tick, and I was like, where's the feeling of like I got the blue tick? Like, yes, and it just wasn't there. I'm like, nah. That's
exactly it. This is what the point that I'm trying to get to you across is that it doesn't for me. Like, I'm all about equality and I don't believe that I'm better than anyone else just because I have the blue tick. Therefore, I'm not going to like monetize it.
Elon got enough money. Why does he want to like charge people $8 a month? Like, really?
I don't understand.
Yeah, I agree with you. And he doesn't need the money. Like, he's worth billions of dollars, right? Like, he's a rich man. And speaking of rich men, did you know that fella in China, he won $46 million in the lottery?
I saw this.
He was a single winner. Like, oh my life, what would you do with that sort of money?
But he didn't tell his wife.
Neither would I.
Would you?
Of course. Yeah, I'd pay them to leave.
Would you not tell? Oh my God.
Look, here's $1 million. Get out of my life.
I wouldn't tell anyone. And
you wouldn't?
No, I wouldn't. And I would just say to my family and my friends, if they like ever questioned, you know, like anything, like you know, how do you have money to pay for this or whatever. I just say that I inherited something or stock or shares, you know, or something like.
I was there when a guy announced it to his family that he won the lotto. So when I was working as a bartender at this restaurant, this guy came in one night and he was like, I want to hire the function room upstairs. But he was very cryptic about what he was hiring it for. And so my manager at the time, she was like, yeah, but like I don't really know what's going on, but he wants, you know, some bar staff upstairs. He wants a full dinner. There's about 12 people coming, and it's like a formal one table in the middle of the room. It's quite formal, but I don't know what it's for. And she's like, I don't know if it's a birthday, blah, blah, blah. We get, like, the function starts happening. He fucking won the lotto and he had $1 million checks in each envelope for his family.
That is insane.
And they thought that he was sick. So once, obviously, the announcement happened, they thought that he was bringing everyone together because he was sick.
Oh, my God.
So they was, like, so shocked that all his kids got $1 million each.
That honestly warms my heart.
And then he tipped me $200. Like, it's not a lot, but like at the same time,
I know he could have put a few zeros on it.
At the same time, I was like, oh my God, like I can't believe I got to see that.
That's insane. Yeah, wow. Do you have a not so PG moment this week?
Not so PG moment. Yeah. I don't know if I can talk about it. So I'm currently house sitting, and I didn't realize, but my friend who owns this place has a cleaner. And so I'm in the shower. The shower is running and making lots of noise because it's flowing water. And this fella just opens the door and walks in. Like literally to the bathroom while I'm in the shower. With his mop and bucket. I'm like, this is not the time. And it's like he was deaf. Because I was like, I poked my head around the corner of the shower and I'm like, I'm in here. And he was like just looking at me. I was like, like, you hear the shower. It's on. There's somebody in there. And it freaked me out because, one, I was in the shower, didn't know that the cleaner was arriving. And so all of a sudden I have this 50-year-old Asian fella in my bathroom with a mop and bucket while I'm in the shower. God. And I was like, you better get out before I slap you with this thing there.
Privacy, right? Privacy is a fucking huge thing. And I think I really love my privacy. And in my room, I don't have like, you know, an enclosed, you know, you've seen my room. It's like kind of got this like open thing to like the hallway, and I can kind of, it's like a Rapunzel kind of fucking tower so I can see to the front door. It's so annoying. And if I want to have sex, which I'm not, I can't because my housemate Hannah will heal me. She will hear me, and I just, not that I'm fucking loud anyways. Like I haven't been with anyone that makes me want to scream. But anyways.
Yeah.
I was having a shower and I got out and I was like doing things, and I hear my other housemate fucking going at it.
Like going at it by themselves or with someone?
No, with someone. And I was just like, I'm fucking over this. Like I don't want to hear someone having sex. Every Saturday morning, I hear my neighbours having sex at 10:30.
In the morning?
Every Saturday morning. Yeah.
They must put it in their schedule, hey?
100%, because it is like on the dot. I literally can time it to a T that it's happening.
You should go at the same time and like just go out the back and start moaning really loud and be like, like competitive moaning.
I mean... I'm just like, I'm so fucking sick of hearing people have sex. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not normally like that. I'm like, get it, sis. Get your little bean, like...
Get your bean flicks now.
Like, I'm like normally like so supportive, but maybe I'm a bit like... Maybe I'm just a bit hostile, or maybe I'm a bit like... Fuck, like...
Oh, wow. Okay, that's another episode for sure.
Rant
that's
over.
all we have time for today. But
anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to Not So PG. Obviously, if you love us, can you please give us a little rating and a little review? If you want to tell us something, you can follow us on socials and slide into our DMs. I know Matty's DMs are definitely always open.
They're popping.
Just like him.
What?
You can follow him at It's Matty Mills, and you can follow me at Brooke.Blurton, and then also you can follow Nova Podcast Official, where we do our podcast, which is an awesome platform where other podcasts are as well.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the next one.
See ya.